Hello, how y'all doing? I wanted to show you guys some pretty clips from Tennessee. We're on vacation. Some of you who follow the channel, you may know that we live in Florida, but we travel to Tennessee most often. That's where my husband's family lives, and it's near the Knoxville area, and we're over by the lake, and we're having a great time. So, are y'all going on trips right now? Or are you staying home? I know the gas prices are expensive. Noah's been working in the business, and it's been kind of up in the air on whether or not he'll get to come here. And he actually had found a flight. He didn't book it, but he was about to. And it was actually cheaper to fly than it would have been to drive here because of the gas prices. It was going to be almost $400 to fill up the truck and drive from Florida to Tennessee, there and back. But if he flew, he would have actually paid less. So it was quite interesting. So he's possibly flying here later today. And I actually have my half-brother from Canada coming. He's driving here now. So interesting story. So my family had 4 kids, and it was 3 girls and 1 boy. My brother died at the age of 33, which was like how long ago? 6 years ago, I guess, give or take. And I found out that I had a half brother when I was 22, so now I'm like upper 30s. Anyways, I found out when I was 22 that I had a half brother. So basically, my mom had a baby when she was young. She explains it as though she was taken advantage of. She was kicked out of the house, and apparently she went to a party, and there was a boy that she had been kind of seeing, and sounds like she was taken advantage of. I don't really know all the details, but her mom made her keep the pregnancy a secret. They didn't have a lot of money. The mom and dad, they were divorced. So her parents were divorced, and they basically, the mom was raising the 5 children, and just financially they were very tight. Her mom had her go to a woman's home in Toronto to deliver the baby. So the last part of her pregnancy, she was in Toronto, I guess, having the baby. And then she wanted the baby, I think. It sounded like she did, as I understand, but she couldn't. She didn't have that choice. She was a young girl. She was like 15 or something. And so she just couldn't keep him, and she kind of wondered about him, but she didn't know, and I didn't know about it. So basically he found out that he was adopted, and so for many years he wanted to find his mom. And my mom was on a vacation, years ago, and in Canada, because we live in the States, and she was on vacation, and the province, I guess, contacted my grandma and said, hey, her son is looking for him, or looking for her. Can he contact her? So my grandma gave the mailing address, I guess, to the home in Florida. So my mom got back to Florida, and I guess had the letter from him, and then of course, she wanted to reach out to him. So he drove to Florida to meet her, and he had I think it was 20 something flowers that he gave her, like roses, and it was for the amount of years that he had been, looking for her or wanting to see her. I don't know, something like that. So I guess he knew he was adopted at a young age. And then my parents, the way they told me was I came into our house, and all just chillax mood, no big deal. And they're like, sit down, we need to talk to you. And I was like, okay, this is weird. And then they explained to me that I had another brother, and I was immediately excited. But then I was kind of mad, like, wait a minute, you didn't tell me for 22 years that I had a brother. So I felt kind of like gypped, but I got over it. My dad and I had an argument because I was like, I got like, hey, why didn't I find out about this? And then my dad got defensive, and then we clashed. And then I went upstairs upset. Then my mom came up and explained more in detail. And then shortly thereafter, I met my half brother. So I know it's a lot of details, but I'm just telling you how it went down. And I was very happy to meet him. He looks a lot like my mom. And I mean, he's like a spitting image of her. It's crazy. And then we've just gotten to know him more and more over the years. We try to see each other frequently. He's been to any important weddings in the families. You know, sometimes he comes there, we go here, whatever. I went to his house for the first time in Ottawa with Olivia when she was a baby. So Olivia's 3 now. I went there around, she was like 6-7 months of age, give or take. I was supposed to drop all the kids off for July 4th at my in-laws, which is what we do. But Olivia did not want me to leave her. And I had just bought a Suburban, and Noah went home to work. And I was like, you know, I could just continue on to Canada. I mean, I've got a week off. I'll just take the baby with me to Canada. So I just did a road trip by myself to Canada with Olivia. And then I hung out with his family in Ottawa for a few days. It was really nice there. And his kids, the whole family speaks French. So he speaks fluent English, and his older son can speak pretty good English. His wife can speak English. I think she's a doctor, but the younger children, they don't really speak much English, but it's pretty cool. And then so he is coming here now. He wanted to check out some like war memorial things in the States. He went to Gettysburg and different places. And let me show you this view. Look at this pretty view. I don't know if you can see the lake. It's so pretty here. I love it. We're like, seriously, like, should we just move here? I know I just got a little distracted. I'm like, squirrel. Look at that. Wouldn't you want to live here? Now, I do live by the beach, and I have really pretty beaches. Like, we have like white sand beaches. So I mean, I can't complain about where I live, but this is really pretty too, and I don't have to worry about alligators in the water. Anyways, back to my story. So he's coming here. Noah might fly here. He's just trying to take care of some more stuff with the business. And then if he can get to a point that he feels happy, then he'll say, okay, let me book that flight. So he's either coming tonight or tomorrow morning. And then he'll hang out here for a couple of days. And then we'll all just drive back as a family. My brother, he may come to Florida and visit us, or he may just go back home. He's not sure. Not that y'all care, but anyways, that's what I'm doing. Just hanging out. So I was technically able to just drop off the kids and go back home or go somewhere else. Noah said, why don't you just go somewhere by yourself, like a spa, some sort of a place where it's like an actual check-in to a hotel, you're alone. Because he knows that I get like tapped out. You know, when you have 5 kids, you need a break. Let's just be real. And I don't really get much of a break. So he was saying I should just go do that. But I was like, no, there's a lot of talk going on about power going out this summer and stuff like that. So I thought I better just stay around here just in case with the kids. I don't know if you guys have heard, but the president, you know, the so-called president, he said that there's going to be blackouts in America, and that Russia would be to blame for cyber attacks. And then the Department of Homeland Security, that leader guy, I don't know his name, he was saying, oh yeah, we're gonna get, somebody said to him, apparently, is there gonna be an air raid from Russia? And he said, oh no, they won't hit us with an air raid first. No, they will do cyber attacks on us with our grid, and it's going to take down communication, all communication, the banking system, the power, like the whole power grid, and they said it will take down the local water municipality, not well, sorry, I have a well. Now, that whole thing is just like, what? So I went ahead, Noah and I have a well, but if we lose power, the well doesn't work. So we are changing up the paneling, our electrical panel in our house. We're adding a larger panel soon. We need to get on it. And we're going to add the two 240 volt hookups for both air conditioning units to connect into it. And then we bought a large generator that would do the whole house. I think it's like a 10,000, 13,000 watt. And then that is going to, we're going to add the connections with the 240 volt or whatever outside or something, and that's going to tap into the house. And then because the new breaker box is going to have the 240 volts for the air conditioning units, we can run the AC if the power went out. Also, I got a generator that is a dual fuel, so I can do propane or gasoline. And so I bought extra propane tanks. I have external propane tanks at my house that my house pulls from. And then I have extra gas at the house, so I'm good there. What else? I would like to get a solar panel well, but it's like nobody can install it. Nobody knows how to do it. I was like, well, maybe I'll just open up a business like that, doing like well installation with solar panels, because it's kind of frustrating. I've called like multiple well companies, and it's really, really weird because I don't know what's going on. So I called this one guy, and he was pretty pricey. I might still use him, I don't know, but he was pretty expensive. Then I called this other company, and they were like, we can't give you a quote over the phone. We have to come to your house. I was like, okay, cool, come to my house. Then it was like 2 weeks, and then it got delayed like another 2 weeks, and I was like, good Lord, like 4 weeks just to come to my house to give me a quote that you could have done in the same amount of time that I was on the phone with you. You could have just said, hey, a new well pump is $2,500 or whatever it is. So then they're like, sorry, we're not going to be able to make that appointment to give me a quote. Just call our office. At that point, I was like, forget it. Y'all are so unprofessional. Like, I just wanted a price. Like, what do you think? I'm a competitor? I'm just trying to get a new well pump put in. So that was pretty frustrating. So I was just like, I'm done with them. Then I saw some Facebook ads. So I reached out to those people, and they'd be like, oh yeah, I can do that, no problem. And then the second they find out that I'm in my town, they're like, oh, I don't service there. And I'm like, what? Your Facebook ads were for here? And they're like, but there's somebody else that has that territory, or I can refer you to somebody else. And I'm like, what is this all about? Like, do these guys have like a little pact? Like, that's my turf, you stay out of it? Like, I have no idea, but it's a little weird. So I would really like to get a new well pump, but I can't find anybody to do it. So that's kind of weird, but yeah, I'm trying to just figure out how to do that. Noah, he's like, we can just do it ourselves. And I know you can do it yourself, and it's actually a fraction of the cost. Like, you can buy a new well pump for like $250 to $350, give or take the kind that you get. And you just got to pull out all the piping. It's a lot of work. If you do it by hand, it's a lot. You need like manpower, because my husband did it with his dad and his brother one time, and they were like, it was a big job. But my well is like 300 feet deep. So man, where do you even put 300 foot of pipe? Like, where does that even go? Like, my land isn't even that big. So I don't even know. So basically, I'm trying to figure out what to do about that. And the reason I'm wanting to get a new well pump is because things are already pretty difficult to get in America, like certain things. I don't know if you've noticed, I'm sure you have, but I just don't want to, I don't want it to break and then be in a bad position. Like, I'd rather just be proactive, get it taken care of, and, just, I don't want it to go bad and then be in a big thing of trouble. Also, I am still trying to figure out if I can do that solar well pump So anyways, that's what's going on. Another thing I will tell y'all, I don't know if you know this, but there's like, and this is not anything to be scared about, but I mean, I'm sure you've heard about the food shortages, and I'm sure you've noticed at the grocery store there's a lot of stuff that's missing. I would encourage you to get some extra food. And I know some people that they're like, God is not giving up on America. God is not done with America. He loves America. Humble yourselves and pray. God's got this, but you got to pray. Like, you got to pray for your country. You got to intercede for your country. So, you know, basically, I've had to remind myself, like, yeah, I need to be praying for the country, because I don't pray enough for the country. But God's not done with America, but we do probably need to have a backup. So just a couple things to think about is, like, if the power was to go out, do you have a bunch of food in the freezer? You know, if you need to keep that going, do you have a generator? Do you have gas tanks? Do you have solar? Would solar work? I don't even know. Like, is Russia gonna try to hit us with like an EMP? I don't know. If that was the case, I don't even know if a generator or a solar panel would work at that point. I have no idea. But I bought it just in case, you know, and I live in a hurricane area, so it doesn't hurt to have a generator. So another thing that I've been doing, I bought a pressure canner. It's an all-American pressure canner. I think it's a 930. I paid like $450, I think, and I bought it from their website. I figured, why give Amazon the business when I can just order it directly from them? And basically, this is how you do it. Okay, I'm not a professional, but I've taken food out of my freezer and pressure canned it. So basically, you cook the food, like you cook up the ground beef, you cook up the chicken, however you're going to do it. You put it in the jars. You know, when it's hot, you put some hot water in the jars. You leave about a 1-inch space at the top. Of course, you got to get the book that teaches you how to do this, but I'm just giving you like a general idea. You make sure there's no bubbles in there. You clean the lids with like vinegar, or not the lids, like the top of the jar. You clean it with vinegar. You put the lids on. I might forget a step here, but I'm thinking about doing a video for you guys. But basically, you put the lids on. You screw the lid on, but not too tight. So you got the lid and then the band. The band is the circle part, like the mason jars, you know. You screw the band on, but not too tight. Then you gently place it. You can add salt if you're gonna add salt. And then you put it in the pressure canner, and the pressure canner will have a couple inches of water, and that water would be like warm. And then you can put your second layer if it's like, so mine, I can do, I think it's 19 pint jars that are regular mouth. If I do wide mouth mason jars, I think I can only get like 16. So I'm not gonna be buying the wide mouth anymore. But anyways, you put it in there, you close this, it looks like a science experiment, big pot, it's really funny. You close it up, tighten all the little things around the circle, the top part, and then you get the temperature rising. You turn it up, and then you let steam start coming out, and the steam will come out for like, once it starts like coming out pretty good, there's like this little vent hole. Once the steam starts coming out like pretty decent, you count for 10 minutes, and 10 minutes it steams. And then when that 10 minutes is up, there's like this little circle weight, and you like put it on top of the little steam vent thing. And for me, I have to put it the number 10. There's like a 5 and a 10 and a 15. You put the number 10 right on top of the little vent thing. And then you look at the pressure gauge, and then I have to like let it continue to increase in temperature for about 10 or 15 minutes. And then when it hits the 10 on the pressure gauge, you're at 10 pounds of pressure, I guess. And then you like lower the temperature a little bit to keep it at that 10, and it'll make like little like weird little noises, like I don't know, multiple times a minute, and you know that you have like good pressure in your pot. And then once you get to that 10 pounds of pressure, you start the timer for 75 minutes if it's a pint jar and you're doing meat. So you do that. So basically I've went through my freezer and I have pressure canned maybe like 100 pounds of meat. So I had some full chickens, like the whole bird. So I just put those in the oven and I cook them at night. I'll just put like 4 in this big pot if I can. It's like a Viking Thanksgiving dish from Sam's Club. Paid like $100 for it, and I put like 4 birds in there and I season them up and I let them cook all night long. I do 200 degrees and I cook it for like 10-12 hours, whatever, just while we're sleeping. And that's what I pressure can. So it's really good. So basically the benefit of this is you have shelf stable meat. So you don't have to keep it refrigerated. It's like buying a can of chicken at the grocery store, except it doesn't taste gross and it doesn't stink. You know that weird gross stink from canned chicken? Like, I can't buy the canned chicken that says with rib meat. Ugh, so gross. So gross. I just can't do it. It's disgusting. And honestly, like, that's not even normal. What is rib meat? And why is rib meat in canned chicken? How disgusting. And have y'all noticed how expensive canned chicken is? I bought some just to have as backup, but I feel like I'm going to probably donate it to somebody, because I probably will donate it, because realistically, if crap hits the fan, I have no idea if it will, but if it does, at least I can give that to people. That might sound rude, like, what, you're going to give it away to them? But it's like, well, either I eat it or they eat it. And if I'm going to take hours and hours to prepare this delicious food, that's for my family. I don't feel bad about it. And if I'm going to give, I'm going to give. It is what it is. But I might just give those other cans away, because I just don't think I want to eat it. And then we got some chickens. So we got like 150 chickens. I'm going to kill like 40 or 45 of them. We're going to process them. I'm just going to go ahead and cook them in the oven and then pressure can them. That's my plan. I might just kill 4 at a time. I don't know. It depends. It depends on if I buy the chicken defeathering machine. If I buy that defeatherer, it's like where you throw it in this thing and it like spins the chickens when they're dead, of course. And it takes off the feathers. This might be too much information for you guys. Some of you might be like, no, I came here for the homeschool stuff. This is disgusting. But the nice thing about like growing your own meat is that they have a really good life. They're treated really well. And they get to walk around. They're not in a cage. They actually just walk around the property free range. They cross the street. They go in the woods. Not too far into the woods. I usually call them back because I don't want a predator to get them. But they have a happy life. And they eat well. They eat off the ground, so they're eating like natural things. And I know what went into it. I know who handled it. Like some of our chicken, I'm pretty sure gets sent off to China. So I don't know. Why would they ship it to China to have them process it and pump it full of nasty salt water and whatever else they can to make it way more pounds? Why would I do that? I don't want to. I'd rather just do it myself. And then I got some turkeys. So basically I'm going to have like maybe like 90 to 100 egg layers, and then 40 to 45 meat birds, which I didn't buy the typical meat birds this time. Typically people buy those big, fat, dumb white birds. They're Cornish cross. No, I don't think I'm ever going to do that again. I don't think so. They're kind of just, it's unnatural how big they are. They can barely walk normal. They're really dumb. Like the egg layers, the females, like they would just go right in their coop at night, no problem. But those birds, man, it's like they just don't know what's going on. I just don't think I'll be buying those again. I think the next time I'll probably buy red broilers because they're more natural, but they still get big, but not big like a Cornish cross. Maybe not. I don't know if I can say that, but they're just more natural. They're just, that's what I'm looking for. And let's see here. The ones I have right now are some like barred rocks. So they're not growing very fast, but that's okay. I'm not trying to get a bird that's done in 8 weeks. These ones are about as old as my little layers that I bought. So basically, I'm gonna have a ton of eggs coming up. I'm gonna start selling eggs. I still have some to some friends, but nothing on a big level. But with food shortages coming, it doesn't hurt to be able to feed your community. You know what I mean? And I don't want to see people go hungry at my church or my community. So I thought, well, if I have some eggs, I could just sell them at cost. So just whatever the cost is to pay for their pine shavings, their supplements, their food. And another thing is, I anticipate that it's going to be hard to get chicken food. It's already been hard to get chicken food, and the price has gone up crazy. Like since last summer to this summer, I literally watched the price jump like $2, $6, like no joke, for like a 40 or 50 pound bag. So basically, if you don't know this, there's been a lot of plants that have been burning down. And then there's been farms that have been killing their animals. Like, so it was a couple weeks ago, a total of 98. So that could be a mix of food processing plants where they process chicken and they ship it to the grocery stores. It could be a recycling plant. It could be a fertilizer plant. It could be a place like Azure Standard that ships out organic food. So like literally places like that. And then that includes the farms that that were killing tons of chickens. So someone will come in, I don't know all the details, but if you want to watch Ice Age Farmer on YouTube, he explains things in more depth. But honestly, it's a little scary watching his channel, because it's like, you literally feel like, oh my gosh, the world is going to end. So if you don't, you got to just watch it and try not to be like scared, because it's a little intimidating when you hear about all these terrible things that are happening. But basically, he said what's going on is someone from the county or government or whatever, I don't know, somebody, they come into a farm and they use those garbage PCR tests, and then they say, oh, there's a chicken that's infected, you got to kill them all. And so then they literally just slaughter all their chickens, and then that farmer's just, I guess, out the money. I don't even know if they offer to pay for it. And then those people are out of jobs, and that's less food going to be hitting the grocery store. So they've been doing the hatcheries where you buy your little baby chicks online and they ship it to you. They've been doing the chicken meat farms where they kill them just for the meat. And then they've been doing it to the farms that have chickens just for egg laying. But realistically, guys, you should probably be getting your eggs from a local farmer, because on Audible, you can buy these books by Joel Salatin. And one of the books called like Pasture Raised or Pasture Profit or something. And he's got all these different books about farming and different things. But he talks about the industrial egg production. Basically, they put like, I think 4 to 6 chickens in like an 18 by 22 inch cage. That is so terrible. And then they're on grates and they just poop out an egg and it goes down a conveyor belt and gets shipped to somebody. And I think the building is dark. They're all just like stuffed in there. And I've seen a picture of these things, so I believe it. And then they said that like if a chicken dies, they just leave it in there and until it just falls through the grate. Like, it's disgusting. Like, seriously, guys, if you can buy from a local farmer, do. And there's certain things to think about. You might go to the grocery store and you might say, well, mine are free range. Mine are organic. Okay, so apparently, do your own homework. When they sell it organic, that means they only have to give them at least 20% organic feed, apparently. Then when they say free range, well, that just might mean free range in a nasty building full of nasty chickens. So my eggs are like basically like pasture raised, except I don't have farm pasture. It's just my backyard, but I have like a decent sized property. So mine are like basically like pasture raised. It's that equivalent because they're outside eating off the ground. So they're eating bugs and things that are natural. So you want them to be outdoors. So then you might have a farmer that has outdoor chickens, but they're penned up. So they're physically outdoors, but they have like a whole cage around them at all times. So they're basically just in the same environment and they're just eating whatever bag food that they buy. So for me, my chickens are like just free released. Here is some food, but go ahead and forage. And then I have pine shavings, and what I do is when the chicken coop gets dirty with the pine shavings and I go to clean it out, I used to dump the pine shavings and get rid of it. But then I was like, you know what? I have a better plan. So I took the pine shavings and I started dumping them not too far from the coop. And what it does is it actually kills the weeds naturally in my yard. So I don't use any chemicals on my property. So basically all the weeds that were there are drowned out by these pine shavings. So I'm preparing a garden bed essentially. The other benefit to it is it's loose material. So the chickens can come in and kick it up and they'll find bugs underneath. So it's like, it's serving two purposes. So I had built a chicken tractor. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it's like, I have like a coop, which is like a wooden plywood box that they get closed up in at nighttime. And it's got like vent holes and everything. That is the ultimate safest thing to keep your birds protected from predators. But then I have chicken tractors, which is where you buy like, you can do wood or PVC pipe and then you wrap it in chicken wire. And you can move it all around the yard so they stay in this protected environment, but you move them to new ground every day. But we don't really, that's not really safe at nighttime because a raccoon can come and put their claws through and kill them. So you got to put a dog around them at night to at least keep them safe. So I put my dog inside of cattle panels that are 16 foot. So I do like a cattle panel box that's 16 foot, 16 foot, 16 foot, 16 foot. And she stays in there at night as a perimeter around the chicken tractor. And she keeps those chickens safe. Well, I specifically put those in the tractor in one part of the yard because I wanted to get pine shavings built up there. And that is now going to be my new garden bed. So I'm literally just going to churn it up, let it compost a little bit more. And then I'm going to just literally put the garden box right on top of it and fill it with soil and start my garden bed. Because it killed all the weeds. So it's really nice. So anyways, I know I talked about a lot of random stuff today, but just wanted to tell you that. Lots of interesting stuff. So we're going to be glad to get rid of those 45 meat birds because Noah is over it. He is so tapped out. He's like, I'm so done with these chickens. And I'm like, yeah, but we have food and that's pretty cool. And if something crazy did happen, like a real crazy supply chain interruption, whatever that could be, like if there's an issue with the grocery stores not getting things, I'm not going to be hurting. I've got food. I can literally kill one chicken at a time as needed. And even just the supply chain interruption could be the diesel fuel, the diesel oil, and the DEF that's needed for diesel semi-trucks. I don't know if you guys know this, but there's apparently a real bad shortage of it, and it's supposed to be hitting pretty soon. And if that happens, it's going to take a lot of trucks off the road, and that supplies your groceries. So the other thing I will say as well in this subject of food and chicken and groceries is when I pressure can the meat, it's very convenient just for regular life. So what I do is I'll take like a can of chicken, like the mason jar chicken that I pressure can, and I'll just throw it on a frying pan and start heating up that chicken. And then I do a separate frying pan with like some butter, and then I put like a flour tortilla down, and then I sprinkle like Mexican cheese all over the tortilla. And then I put the chicken on there, and sometimes I put a little bit of black beans, and then I put a little bit more cheese on top, and then I close it, and it makes these super yummy chicken quesadillas. The other day I made the kids chicken noodle soup. I just took some egg noodles and and I also did some chicken broth. So when I make my chickens, I put a little water in the pot, like when I cook it in the oven all night, I put a little extra water in the pot, and then you have chicken broth. So you can take that juice and mix it with more water and have your base for your chicken soup, and just add egg noodles, carrots, celery if you want. I don't know if you do celery in yours. And then add your chicken. So it's pretty cool. So anyways, I know this was a long video, but it's just kind of random. I just figured I might make some videos like this occasionally, just kind of doing like updates and talking about stuff. But I would encourage you guys to pray for our country, and I would encourage you to just get a little extra. Just get some flashlights and batteries, get some extra water and keep it under your bed. Just drink through the water bottles every couple months and replace it with new. Put a little extra food in your pantry. Only buy stuff that you eat and that you like. You know, just rotate it out, you know, buy something new, push it to the back, and eat the older item in the front, you know, push the new to the back. So like if we buy ketchup, we just put the new ketchup in the back and we eat the older one from the front so it doesn't expire. Also, expired food does not mean you can't eat it. It may not mean anything at all. I threw away so much food in the past, and I didn't know that you don't actually have to do that. Most of the time that food is good for years beyond what they say. Some simple homework, you can figure out what I'm talking about. But anyways, I know this was a very all over the place video, but I kind of want to tell y'all about some of the stuff, but I didn't want to freak you out. Just the supply chain shortages. We've went ahead and we bought the kids some extra stuff. So I've made sure that they have clothing for 1 or 2 sizes up. I've made sure that they have a pair of running shoes and some flip-flops 1 or 2 sizes up. So we're good there. I've purchased some extra running shoes and hiking boots for me and my husband. So we're good there. Just to be on the safe side, you know, because if you just can't get the same items that you could have got before, or if it becomes so expensive and you just don't want to spend that money later, like, you know, I can buy the kids some running shoes now at a decent price, but if things were to get a little crazier with inflation, it could cost a lot more, and I don't want to spend that. So anyways, I will let you guys go. Hope this video hasn't totally bored you. I'll see you later. Bye.